Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised this nation for something that is very important amongst the characteristics of this nation: bidding the lawful and forbidding the unlawful. When this nation stopped doing this obligation, stopped fulfilling this task that Allah praised it with, in many settings, we started seeing all the diseases and the tribulations, the calamities befalling Muslims here and there. The Prophet ﷺ was asked, would we be destroyed and inflicted with these calamities? Although there are some amongst us who are pious and righteous. And the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, if the enormous sins are committed in this way, very widespread amongst the people of this nation. You see, many people are not bidding the lawful or forbidding the unlawful, to the extent that a person would not advise his brother, or the father wouldn't advise his son, or the person wouldn't advise his wife. They left this task that is from the characteristics of this nation. Then they started having all these tribulations and calamities befalling them. Amongst them is this virus corona that is widespread now. And many people are worried about what they do regarding this virus. You should not be so extreme about it, but act in a normal way. As the Prophet ﷺ instructed, and also as we hear from the health agencies, you take with the precautions while relying on Allah Azza wa Jal. There is no contradiction between taking with the means, the precautions, and relying on Allah Azza wa Jal. One of the companions asked the Prophet ﷺ if he should tie his camel so it doesn't walk away, or leave it untied and rely on Allah Azza wa Jal. The Prophet ﷺ said to him, tie it up and rely on Allah Azza wa Jal. That means take with the means, with the precautions, while relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As for the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in it about some diseases being contagious, and there is no contagious disease, meaning as the people of the era of ignorance used to believe that the disease itself creates the disease in another person. They don't believe that Allah is the creator of the disease. Rather, they believe that when one comes in contact with another person who is infected with a contagious disease, he will definitely get that disease, and without the will of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's the belief during the era of ignorance. And the Prophet ﷺ told them that this is not the case. The disease does not move from one person to another without the will of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because the Prophet then said to them, how did the first one get that disease? So if they say, this person took it from that person and that person took it from that person, what about the first one who got that disease? Where did he get it from? So in Islam we believe that the disease does not transmit without the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why the highly righteous scholars and pious Muslims used to have full reliance on Allah, were very strong in their belief, to the extent they would sit with the one who has a contagious disease and eat with him, and they won't be affected by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as for the normal people who are not of that category, they should take with the precautions, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed in another hadith, where he said, stay away from the one who is infected with leprosy, as you stay away from the lion. As you run away from the lion, stay away from the one who is infected with leprosy, because this kind of disease, the flesh becomes red, then black, then it starts falling off. So for the majority of people who do not have that strength in relying on Allah Azza wa Jal, can follow this instruction of the Prophet. Stay away from those who are infected, meaning there is no problem in taking with the means. So there is no problem if you find yourself having some symptoms of flu and the like. Stay away from being in contact with your brothers at this time. Maybe you can sit away from them. Try to eliminate all these symptoms or possibilities by being a transmitter of that disease while relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So always keep updated with the precautions, follow them up, while at the same time rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Pray a lot, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do when a matter happens. Also stay at night and sometimes make dua, especially before dawn time. Also make zikr, recite the basmala and all these awrad, so inshallah you'll be protected and your families from all these diseases, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to lift this calamity from all the people around the world, inshallah azza wa jal, and Allah knows best.